Hey and welcome everybody. Today I'm going to share an art journal spread. I haven't been playing in my art journal for a while now because I had already some videos pre-recorded and I worked almost every day on that 100-day project pieces, and here are some from last week, and I want to use one of them because I think they are really cute on this art journal spread. That page is already prepared and I have used our dotted stencil with acrylic paint. And once that was dry, I've covered the whole spread with a layer of clear gesso. The paper is not the best, but I really love this journal because of its size and the binding, because it opens flat. And the paper is quite heavyweight, so I'm just priming the paper with clear gesso so it works with every medium. I haven't found any medium that does not work. Maybe the only thing that is a bit weird are soft pastels, because it's very textured and gritty and it grabs a lot of the pastels. But what is nice, some soft pastels work really lovely with water and give you an amazing grungy texture, and then this surface is also really good to work with. Before I go on top with some coloring, I decided I want to do some more stamping to bring in some different style elements, and I think I'm maybe starting with just a simple script stamp. And I'm using some black StazOn ink because that is already quite black, and I think this page I won't use another dark color because I already have the black, and I don't want to overdo it with the dark elements as the dots are quite heavy. I'm just stamping that script here and there. It's one of our mix it up stamp sets. I will link all the products I'm using on this page in the video description. I don't want to overdo it, so I try to keep myself away from just stamping and adding whatever it is. I'm just searching for an acrylic block because I want to stamp some bigger letters to the edge here and maybe here, just to balance that out. You might recognize that I do not make a voiceover today. I decided I would try again to record it directly from my desk because it might be a bit more authentical and maybe also inspiring and better for you to watch and then play along. But it's really hard for me sometimes to talk and create at the same time, because usually I really enjoy making stuff and creating art journal pages, and then I usually do not talk. And then sometimes I am not able to finish a sentence. I don't know what to say. I forget to tell you something. Just let me know in the comments if you like it this way and if it's okay for you, or if you would like to have a proper voiceover. I'm just stamping the word home upside down to the page because I plan to add these elements with the houses. And I think that just matches the theme quite well. And I also think our homes are something that is quite important usually. And I think it's nice to keep that with an art journal spread, just to maybe be a little bit thankful for it. I'm using StazOn, not sure if I've already mentioned, but it dries super quickly on an acrylic surface like that gesso, and that's the only reason I'm using it, because it dries quickly and permanent. Archival ink would also be permanent once it's dry, but it takes more time to dry. And I'm not sure about the Verso Fine Clear. It is permanent when you stamp it on normal paper, but I'm not sure if it will be permanent on an acrylic surface. And I know that it does not really dry very good over acrylics, so I just do not use it on this surface. But it's my favorite stamp pad for stamping. For stamping focal images to watercolor paper, for example. Okay. I think it's enough. There is a lot going on that page, and my next step is to bring in some kind of color, and I do not only want to add some watercolor or ink, I want to have also something that gives me a little bit of a texture, and also maybe something that tones down some of the areas with the dots, because it's a quite big area. So maybe I could go in with something that is a bit more opaque, but I don't want to cover everything with an opaque layer. So I have to mix up something transparent with something opaque. And I'm not 100% sure what I want to use, but I think about Neocolors. They are my favorite medium to play with mixed media. I use them a lot in my sketchbook and for drawing, and I also love them for mixed media, for backgrounds, all that kind of stuff. And they are, once you use them with water, I think they are a bit similar to gouache paint, maybe. Not so similar to watercolors, because they are not transparent, and watercolors usually are transparent. So I would compare them to a gouache. So if you don't have Neocolors, you maybe could just use some gouache instead. And I just go in with a brush to mix that up and blend it a little bit into the page. You can see if you have a thin, even a thin layer, it will give you some opacity. And here in that area, I was able to cover up the whole area. And there it comes in that I find it really hard to talk and play. That's not the best brush. It's losing its hairs, but it's losing tons of hairs. I like these brushes. They are very cheap, and I can mess them up. And also the texture they give you is not perfect. It's not a straight line. It's not compared. If I would have used this brush, everything would be quite similar, and I think that's often a bit boring. I usually do not use purples a lot. This is one of my favorites for sketching. I don't know why. I really like this color, although it's kind of a purplish color. It's a light violet. But this color is on this house image, and I really like the combination of yellows and purple. So I decided to use that color, and then probably I will go with this collage element. I made this in my last Saturday video for my lovely YouTube members. I now want to use some kind of a yellowish, more transparent color, and I think this might be a good one. I hope. It's the Antelope Brown. I think it's from Daler-Rowney. I have just a big bottle of that because I got it for, I think, 10 euros on Amazon, and the big ones are usually, they sell about for about $28 euros. So I grabbed that, and then I just put it into this tiny container, as I don't want to have that big bottle. And that ink is also one of my favorites. You can put these inks into markers. Wait a minute. Like these markers. This is a Montana marker. I use that a lot in my sketchbook, and I take it with me when I'm going out. And this ink works super good in these markers. I'm not sure about other brands. I just know it from these Daler-Rowney inks. And also I think only the artist grade ones work in this way. Not sure if you can do it with the System 3, which is the more not crafty brand or student grade paint. I really like how the ink gives you that lovely texture. I don't want to overwork it. I really like how this works together, but you have to be careful. If you mix that too much, you will get a grayish color, and I don't want to create a muddy background, so I'm a little bit careful. It tones it down a little bit, which is nice, but be careful, do not mix that too much. And also, if you are not sure if you can work over the top without creating mud, I would always let that dry, then the chance is not so high that you mix a muddy color. I think I also want to add a little bit more yellow, but I'm not sure about this. That's the yellow orange azo. It's a very transparent, bright yellow ink, but it's quite warm. And on my element, I have quite a cool yellow here, and maybe also that warm orange, which is going on, which I know will mix when I use a neon pink with the lemon yellow. Then it will give me that orangish color. Maybe I will do that, and maybe I will do it on a separate plate. Often I go in straight to my page, but this time I'm not sure if I should because everything is still so wet. I just bought myself a new of these neon pink inks. My last one was not empty. It was, I would say it was half empty, and one day I opened it and I've used it just a few days before and it was closed, but it was dried out completely. That was very weird, and I had this for years without any issues, and that was a bit weird. I think I'm going to mix that with the lemon yellow from these fluid acrylics from Daler-Rowney. I really like these because they come in these small bottles and you can take them out for sketching. And they are refillable. You can take that out and then refill them. And I also have the big bottles. Oh, I should have shaked that more. Can you see? That's just the binder that comes out. I haven't used them for a while. I think it was last year spring that I've taken them out for sketching and just to make some quick backgrounds. So I'm going to shake that up and then I will be back. It seems that yellow is maybe a bit not okay anymore, because it does not really mix up with the binder again. I tested one of the others, and it was just okay. And just that yellow is a bit weird. Do not really like that. It's almost a thin yellow with a lot of matte medium or fluid medium. I just go in now and add this color, because that brings in that orangish tone that I have on my focal element. I have to say that I'm not a big fan of this orange with the purple. It's just not my favorite color combo. I think I will leave that as it is for now, because I don't want to overwork it. And I think that is a nice element to glue down. But everything now is very orangish, and I don't have a contrast. And I want to search for some more collage papers that just match that whole composition, and I will cover up some of this background, and then I think that hopefully will work out. My page is dry, and I have searched through my papers, just through the ones that are already cut up. And I found this, which has that gray and yellow, which matches that whole ephemera piece quite well. And I also found this piece that might be quite a nice neutral to put that in. And now I just want to see how I want to add this. Definitely that's quite too big. I don't want to cover up so much. I think I want to have something still visible at the top, maybe like that. And I also want to cut away that bottom piece, maybe here. I really like to mix up torn and cut edges, maybe like that. It's a bit too wide, so I'm going to maybe tear that. Yeah, I want to keep that at the right, because I really like it, and I also do not want to cover up that if possible. I think I like it like that. In the original is a little bit lighter. I think it's because the lighting is maybe a little bit too dark, and also the camera maybe is a bit more saturated than it's in real life. Everything is just a little bit lighter than you can see it on camera, I think. I really like that, and I will definitely glue that down. But I'm missing something. Maybe some pink marks with this neon pink, because that is not on the background, and I'm missing that. And I also think I'm going to add a little bit more collage in some areas with the leftover of this. This is a jelly print on a piece of rice paper. It's very thin paper. I really like that for collage. And I think it's made with a stamp from our calf collection. I don't know which one, and I think they are all sold out now in the clear version, but we have the rubber versions left. So I try to find out where this stamp is on, and I'm going to link it. What about this paper? It's quite centered, that line, that whole. If I put that here, this one, it looks quite centered. I'm not sure if I like that. Maybe if I just raise it up, that might be nice. Maybe I can do some kind of stamping to build kind of a frame around that. That might be also a good idea. If I put it here and then I do some stamping. I'm just not sure what stamp I'm going to use. I think I'm going with that simple numbers stamp. I would just stamp it, not on the page. It's always a bit tricky to stamp on an art journal page directly because it's often very uneven. So I prefer to do that on a better background if possible. Yes, I really like that. That's quite nice. And I'm not sure about this at the bottom here, because that would also be nice to do the same numbers here also as a frame. It's quite a dark page. I would definitely do some lighter mark making now to just make it a little bit lighter. Just going to stamp over the edge here. Maybe I'm tearing away that little edge, like so. You can see I've covered loads of the pattern I had made previously. But when I start a page, I never know how it's going to end and what I'm going to add. And that means I just throw something on there and then I decide where it leads me. I will now pick my neon pink marker to make some marks. That's an acrylic marker. It's from Marabu. I think usually when you buy them in the art store, it's the Yono marker. You only need one. And I think because they sold those at the discount store here in Germany, they put just another label on, so nobody knows that it's that brand. And you got them quite inexpensive there, so I really like it. I have a Posca, the Posca pen. The big one in neon pink. It does not make dots, but it's not as opaque, I think, as this one is. It even works over a black background quite nicely. So I have bigger dots and smaller dots in front. I think that's quite nice, and I love how this pink looks over the bluish purple color from the Neocolors. Maybe I also add some here to the bottom. So everything is a little bit cohesive. Of course, there is a blog post available for this spread. Over on our shop blog, we are sharing almost daily a creative project. Often we have tutorials, either step by step or a video. Check it out. It's very inspiring, and there is no advertising in between. So usually I sometimes see something on Pinterest that I really like. I often search for bullet journal ideas. And then I go to that blog that is linked with the Pinterest board, Pinterest pin, and then everything is full of advertising, and in between you can read the blog post, but that's so hard to read. And we don't have advertising on our blog, we just advertise our own stamps. So that's it's all about the creative project, and it's very easy to read, and I really enjoy myself looking what the design team made, and also sometimes I look at older projects. I want to make some mark making with this light yellow from the Neocolors, and I just do some scribbles. I try not to scribble into the wet paint marker. I just add these scribbly marks so it gets a bit more depth and texture. And it's also the same kind of yellow that's on that element here. Very unusual color combo, I think. I usually do not use that. But I really like it. I think it might be nice to have a bit more highlights here, so maybe I'm going to use that light cream. Is there a lighter color? Yeah, that one. I will use this also and make a few marks. No, I have a better idea. Let's pick a Derwent drawing pencil. I'm just searching for the right color. I can't find one. That's it. Oh, brand new. That's a brand new one, because I think mine was already quite small. Oh, that's not light enough. Then let's go for a very light luminance. And I will just make some marks with this as well. I try to finish that page now. I don't want to overwork it. Here it's still a little bit wet where this thick yellow is. And I also don't want to become the video too long, because I'm afraid the YouTube algorithm doesn't like that if the video is too long. Yes. I think I'm done. I will now glue these elements down in that way. You see it here. And I will post photos on the blog so you can have a look at the finished page. I will also leave you with the photo now. I hope you enjoyed that way. I did these kind of videos for my members the last three Saturdays, I think, and I really enjoyed it. I took different days, and then I just recorded what I've done on my desk, and I put that together in a kind of a vloggy, creative video. And yeah, maybe I will just do these videos without voiceover and just record them directly whenever it's possible. Of course, when the kids are at home, it's a bit harder to do that because it's very noisy in the background usually. Okay, I wish you a lovely rest of the week. I hope you enjoyed that. Please leave me a comment and we will see us next time. Bye!